Hey everybody, how you doing? Good morning to you all from the Sunnyvale Reject on this beautiful Thanksgiving morning. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, that's okay. Happy day of giving gratitude. I am so thankful to be alive. I'm so thankful to have a house and hot water. I'm so thankful to have these books, which are my form of entertainment chiefly and an escape route when things get tough. And I am so thankful for you, for each and every one of you. You've provided me with a route of escape as well from the storm and drain of it all, because even though we live in the Garden of Eden and life should be good, it's not always. Things are tough. We lose the people we love. We got to pay taxes. All that normal bullshit that we all go through. But today, let's give thanks. Let's be happy. Let's pray for those that aren't here anymore. And let's make the very best of every second we have on this planet. And every second that we're not working. Okay. Let me shut my damn mouth. Y'all know me. I'll start talking and I won't stop. I'll forget what I'm doing. Today, guys, I want to show you guys the books that I'm thankful for this year. It changes every year, but on this Thanksgiving 2025, I woke up thankful for the books that I'm about to show you. In the comments, let me know what books you're thankful for. If you didn't see my beauty series video on Anne Rice about 3 or 4 days ago, please check it out. I had a beautiful signed copy of Beauty's Kingdom there, and the hardbacks, book 1, 2, and 3 of the beauty series, which are rare. Okay. My uncle sent me this a while back, and my uncle passed away in March of this year. In fact, it's been a tough year, y'all. Let me get that off my chest. I lost my dog, I lost my dad, and both of my uncles on my mom's side. It's been really tough, and we hurt for those folks, but we got to keep going, especially if you have children. But he sent me this, and I'm grateful to have it. It's called How to Stay Alive in the Woods Should the Shit Hit the Fan. And even if the shit doesn't hit the fan, it's still good to know this stuff. I was just looking through my books, and I've never pulled it off the shelf. I've never really looked at it or talked about it, but I'm grateful to have it. And if the opportunity ever presents itself, I'll read this and be prepared. Okay. I only drink coffee in the morning because I live in Florida and it's really hot. They're in no particular order. I am so very profoundly thankful for Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. He's a Mississippi son from Oxford, died in Byhalia, Mississippi, won the Nobel, won the Pulitzer, wrote some amazing books. The Sound and the Fury, probably the best, but for me it was a badge of accomplishment. People dreaded reading this, but being in Mississippi, you got to read some Faulkner, you got to study your roots. And he is a master. But this book, The Stream of Consciousness, the complexity of the characters, the psychological range of the characters, and the plot developments, it was just a tough book to get through. I've read it now 3 or 4 times. It inspired me, it influenced me, and it taught me to be patient with books, that the payoff will be there. And if it's not, then you learn what not to do. But The Sound and the Fury is eloquent and deep. It's painful and beautiful, but it's not very funny. The Sound and the Fury by Faulkner. I'm grateful this book exists. Read it, love it, move on and grow. Sound and the Fury was not funny. This guy is funny. It's Carl Hiaasen. Skinny Dip, and it's a beautiful book. Great for reading on the beach. Looks good on the shelf too without that stupid sticker, but it's got those South Florida kind of Caribbean vibes to it. I love Carl Hiaasen, and I love this book. And Donna Tartt, when asked about writing once, said that she loved to read, and I love to read too, in the same way that Peter Straub described Dickens as if for life. That's me. Books have kept me alive. This book is so funny though, but Donna Tartt said that reading is so much fun, right? But writing a book is a depth, I don't know if she said higher or lower, but a depth better. Writing a book is so much more fun than reading it. You're being creative, you're putting things together in a chronological etc. order, right? And I don't know, it's like therapy, it's entertainment, you're being creative, you're putting a product out there and seeing what the world thinks of what you thought might be your claim to fame. But either way, if the writer's having fun, the reader's going to have fun. And this book is crazy. The writer's having a ton of fun. Look at his picture on the back. Now, come on. Look, you got a smile on your face already, right? It's contagious. What's it about? It's got that nice paper. Hardback looks good. What's it about? You're going to love it. Chaz Peroni might be the only marine scientist in the world who doesn't know which way the Gulf Stream runs. He might also be the only one who went into biology just to make a killing. I have never heard that, have you? And now he's found a way, doctoring water samples so that a ruthless agribusiness tycoon can continue illegally dumping fertilizer into the endangered Everglades. Not good, and in Florida we hear about it all the time. When Chaz suspects that his wife Joey has figured out his scam, he pushes her overboard from a cruise liner into the night dark Atlantic. Unfortunately for Chaz, his wife doesn't die in the fall. It gets better. I gotta read this. It gets better. Clinging blindly to a bale of Jamaican pot, Joey Peroni is plucked from the ocean by a former cop and current loner, Rick Stranahan. Instead of rushing to the police and reporting her husband's crime, Joey decides to stay dead, and she haunts and taunts him until he goes crazy, and it's funny. It's so funny. As Chaz's cold-blooded cohorts in pollution grow uneasy about his ineptitude and increasingly erratic behavior, as Mick Stranahan discovers that 6 failed marriages and years of island solitude haven't killed the reckless romantic in him, we're taken on a hilarious, full-throttle, pure hyacinth ride through the warped politics and mayhem of the human environment and the human heart. It's not all silly and comedy and funny, though. There's some random bits of seriousness. There's some truths and morals to be proffered. It's a good, fun book, but it's a breeze to read through. It really is. And I promise you, like Dave Barry, like Christopher Moore, you're going to love it. You're going to want to pick up another book by him. And that's that. Like I said, these are in no particular order, so bear with me. It's Broken Hearts. It's Broken Hearts by R.L. Stine. It's part of the Fear Street series, and I love it. And here's the truth. I grew up with classics. I cut my teeth on Dostoevsky, Robert Louis Stevenson, Faulkner. What was the damn short story? I can never remember this short story writer's name. I can never remember this short story, but Flannery O'Connor. Damn it, he was Russian. I can never remember this guy's name, but I grew up reading great classic literature, and it served its purpose for a while, but as I got older, I was just bored. I was just bored with it because they're almost all slow burns, and it takes a while for the reward to come bubbling to the surface. I don't know, and I haven't enjoyed them all. But anyway, I got really, really bored. By chance, by luck, one day I came across a Cameron Chaney video on YouTube, and the rest is history. He was talking about some Fear Street. I'd never heard of Fear Street. I went out and got the book that he was talking about in the video. It was Broken Hearts, and I loved it. It was nostalgic. It reminded me of Valentine's Day in high school, of course, and writing love notes and letters to the girl that you felt like you couldn't live without, and she just had to be your Valentine, or else your heart was broken and you'd never be the same. But this led me to Dean Koontz, Christopher Pike, John Saul, Stephen King, and all these books, back to Anne Rice even, and back to Peter Straub. I mean, I'm come full circle. I'm almost all the way back to literary heart, but I loved it. I sure did. Roses are red, corpses are blue. On Valentine's Day, you'll die too. There's someone out there, someone who kills on Valentine's Day. Josie and Melissa are scared, especially when they receive threatening Valentines. When the murders begin, who is sending these horrible Valentines to the girls of Shadyside High? And who will be the next to die? It's Broken Hearts. You can get it for like $8, $9, $10 on Amazon. You can probably, you're not going to find this at a Goodwill or a Salvation Army. You just don't. Get it on Pango cheap, but get it somehow. Read it and see where it takes you. I love Fear Street. In fact, I don't know if you can see them. I have most of them. I've read 40, 45. I love them. I'll always read them. You know. All right, moving right along. Okay, I read this guy's poetry in grad school. I rarely talk about poetry, although I write poetry. Hang on, bear with me. My first book, Blame Forest, was a finalist in the American Legacy Book Award. That was my first book. My second book, Laughing is Forever, was a finalist in the International Book Award. Yeah, so I don't read a whole lot of poetry. I write it, though, and it's weird. It's more of a structural thing because my poetry reads like short stories, and I attribute that to James Dickey's poetry and Singing Yet by Stan Rice. Stan Rice, baby. Anne Rice's husband. You've read Stan Rice's poetry if you've read Anne Rice's books, because she usually has a full poem, sometimes a couple, sometimes an excerpt from a longer poem, but she usually has a Stan Rice text at the front of her books. So it's like Shakespeare. You're influenced by Shakespeare whether you know it or not because you watch television, and those writers like Seinfeld, for example, were always writing about Shakespeare. But here's the man himself. He was a painter. In New Orleans, he had an art gallery, and he was a poet of some incredible depth. And, well, to cut to the chase, Stan and Anne lost their firstborn, their daughter, Michelle, aka Mouse, which I talked about in the beauty series video I did about 3 or 4 days ago. But this is what kind of pushed him over the edge and encouraged him, made him, whatever you want to say, become a poet. The death of his daughter, Michelle, who was a vibrant, beautiful little girl. And who knows what, she probably would have been a writer too, because Christopher Rice, their son, is. And Christopher looks a lot like his father without facial hair. He writes supernatural thrillers too. But Singing Yet is a collection of his best work in I think the previous 3 books. And this book was the first of his books to come out in 9 years. He took a 9-year hiatus. But anyway, when this came out, what's that? That looks blue to me. Huh, back here it's blue. But anyway, I know you want to know what it's about. Let's see what it says on the inside flap. The 4th book after a 9-year silence from Stan Rice, whose 3rd collection won the Academy of American Poets Edgar Allan Poe Award, acknowledging the continuing achievement of a poet under 45. Singing Yet provides an overview of Rice's work in generous selections from the 3 earlier books, together with a considerable body of new work that marks the poet's steady growth. Among the new poems is this one, I Called the Cow. I'll read it for you. It's just off the flap. I called the cow. I called the cow, and she came to me. Black and brown, she bowed her smooth, blunt head and said, I am one of the dead, who come and go like flowers, who rarely speak your tongue, and so you think us dumb beasts, but we are not so. We are trapped between death and life, unable to want or choose. I have no dread. I have no name. All my faces are the same, black or brown, with blaze. I eat, I drink, I stand in the shade of the one shade tree and try, like fire, to think. I am very thankful that this book was collected, arranged, written, whatever. I'm thankful for it. If you hate poetry or have never tried it, give Stan Rice a chance. Hell, Anne Rice fell in love with him. Maybe you will too. I'm thankful for it. All right. Thank you for being patient. The last book in the books that I'm thankful that they were written, it's The Lost Realms by Zecharia Sitchin. It's a non-fiction book based on myths in South America, legends in South America, which are beyond our experience and to them are holy truths. These people weren't trying to trick us in the future. So they wrote outlandish stories to get to us, to trick us. They wrote what they saw and heard with a limited vocabulary. So, for example, they had a word for rocket in ancient Mesopotamia, din-gur. It alluded to a two-stage rocket. These people were seeing things they couldn't explain. Now, his series of books, the Earth Chronicles, Zecharia Sitchin, it takes place in the Near East, right? And it leads all the way up to the deluge, right? Well, that's where their mining operation was. After the deluge, the Sumerians, the Mesopotamians, and probably the Anunnaki, who made it into the Old Testament as the Nephilim, they crossed the Atlantic and went to South America, right? So where they were in the Near East and Africa was covered by the deluge, and they were mining. Remember, they were mining gold. So that flood washed the gold out of the Andes, and so they did a different type of mining, which was called placer mining. So they literally moved the mining operation from Mesopotamia to South America, right? And that marks the arrival of these gods in South America, like Viracocha. And as you go further north to the Yucatan, Mexico, you hear of Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, but it's the same god. And when that god left that area, he left through Ecuador, that marked the arrival of the god, damn it, I cannot remember his name, maybe it was Thor, but it marked the arrival of the Norse gods. If you read the myths, man, they coincide. And they also coincide with the Bible and other holy texts, right? Okay. When the Spanish conquistadors came to the New World in search of El Dorado, the fabled city of gold, they instead found stone edifices of massive proportions, mysteriously constructed in inaccessible regions. Let me stop there. When you look at Machu Picchu, you're in a cloud forest. You're 13,000 feet up in the mountains. These are megalithic stones. They weigh many tons, hundreds of tons, thousands of tons. Why did they use such heavy, big rocks? Why did they move them so high up a mountain? How the hell did they do this? I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And when the Spaniards got to that region, they thought the devil had built it because he was even beyond their technical capabilities, right? All right. Huge monuments, but with a skill level and tools yet unknown to the indigenous cultures of that part of the world. In the Lost Realms, Zecharia Sitchin combines archaeological, mythological, and textual evidence to uncover links between the ancient Near East and prehistoric American civilizations, links that explain the pyramids and cities of the gods in Mexico, the Mayan mastery of astronomy, the secrets of the Olmec calendar, who were the first people in Mexico, the Olmecs. Do your research on them. That'll change your perspective on history's mainstream timeline. All right, where the hell was I? The secrets of the Olmec calendar and the presence of the oldest metropolis in the Americas on the shores of Lake Titicaca. He discloses answers to the puzzles of the ancient American civilizations, answers that strongly suggest the involvement of gods from another planet who made Earth their home. The further you go back, the smarter and more intelligent we are. The farther you go back in time, the more glorious and magnificent the structures were. This is not a matter of blood, sweat, and tears. This is a matter of technology. They used diorite, red granite. They used 500-ton stones, 2,000-ton stones. Why would they do a job so incredibly hard? And the answer has to be because it wasn't hard. They were advanced and it was easy. Find this out for yourself. Be blown away by Zecharia Sitchin's The Lost Realms. Okay. I'm tempted to not show you guys this, but I have to. These are some other books that I'm so thankful for. I've got 3 beautiful signed books that I want to add to this video and show you before we get out of here. And I am going to redo my signed book collection because when I did it a year or so ago, I didn't have many, 10 or 15. I've got a ton of beautiful signed books by authors that you know and love and admire. All right, so I did a Donna Tartt video 2 weeks ago or so. I used to have a signed copy of The Little Friend, which is hard to find in really good condition, but I got rid of it. I can't believe I did it, y'all. I got rid of it, and I've been pining and lamenting ever since. So guess what? I found another signed first edition, first print of The Little Friend, which I'm going to show you now. Peggy, oh Peggy, why did you do it to Peggy? from Donna Tartt. Thank you, Peggy. I ain't mad at you. But a first edition, first print of The Little Friend. Her bastard child of a book that people don't like. Y'all know I went through a Peter Straub phase. I'm actually reading Coco right now and loving it, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. Got a signed copy of Houses Without Doors. A beautiful, pristine copy of Houses Without Doors. Bought this book for $15, y'all. First edition, first print. Signed by the man himself. Peter Straub. And last but not least, another beautiful, beautiful book by Peter Straub. It's Mystery, part of the Blue Rose trilogy. Peter Straub's Mystery with a beautiful Bodart Mylar cover. And look at the man himself. Shaved head, or bald, one or the other. Mustache. Button-up shirt. Cool as a cucumber. Homies with Stephen King. Oh boy, I had to find the signature. Here it is. First edition, first print. There he is. I don't like to open them too far because I don't like to hear that cracking sound that the spines make. It drives me crazy. Speaking of driving people crazy, I'm going to shut up. I went on too long. It's Thanksgiving, and I want and need you guys to have a beautiful, amazing day with your friends and family, or by yourself, just not at work. Just take some time, meditate, read some good books, and stay cool. I love you guys.